Keisha, I'll call you back. What the fuck you want?
Hi, ma'am. You've been drafted.
Yeah, fucking right, bitch.
CBS News.
Shocking development. The federal government says being broke is allowed. If you're broke and glowing, you are officially now suspect. You can't be glowing more than your financial status. Look your problem.
Producers have confirmed next season of Love Island will merge with the Hunger Games. Only one couple will survive the new format. Everyone else dies.
Senator Buck Nutley has unveiled his Big Girthy bill, a new proposal meant to rival the Big Beautiful bill. But does size really matter?
The shocking trend of Labu violation continues as more and more people are finding their dolls' holes stretched wide open and reeking of shame.
If you thought Bigfoot was bad, wait till you meet his gooey cousin. A Sasquatch was just spotted in Dongwood National Forest.
Did you know IKEA has released a home glory hole kit called the Fugue Hole? It includes pre-drilled panel, mounting brackets, and stain-proof finish. We begin with breaking news out of Massachusetts, where residents are reeling from what scientists are calling a cum-comet impact.
Officials are asking everyone to stay indoors and to wear N95 masks in case of cum aerolization.
President Trump kicking off another busy week at the White House. It's been yet another eventful week in Washington.
The activity level is off the charts. President dialed in. He's executing his agenda at a lightning fast pace. Here's something we rarely see in American politics. President Trump is actually keeping his campaign promises, and he's doing them as quickly as possible.
This administration's moving at political light speed, and they're just getting started.
We're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do what I'm doing.
Goodbye. We love you. We will be back in some form. Have a good life. We will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Official, former President Donald Trump will be running for president again in 2024.
Got the stamina and the will to do this. He's come under such tremendous...
Everything is on the line in this election.
A busy day in the campaign world up in Butler today. Former President Trump holding a rally at 5 o'clock.
They just tried to kill President Trump.
Not even an assassin.
If we're not careful, AI could make it possible to distinguish truth from fiction in the news we consume.
So, Keisha, what's a high-value man to you?
A man that gave me 10 kids, 3 evictions, $10 on Cash App, and still pull up in a Nissan Altima that sound like he got...
Good evening, I'm Tom Tucker with some breaking news. A local kidnapping has rocked Quahog tonight. Rocked Quahog? Really? The whole town is... The family, maybe, is rocked, but the whole... All right, in any event, we now go live. Asian reporter Tricia Takanawa. Let's see how much she's rocked by all this. Tricia?
Tom, I'm standing here with Mayor Adam West with the latest information about the disappearance of young Scotty Jennings. What can you tell us, Mr. Mayor?
Please, Mr. Mayor is my father. Call me John Mayor. Your body is a wonderland, by the way.
What is the city doing to help rescue the missing boy?
Well, we're looking for this child using all the latest technology, including the newest, most advanced multimedia milk cartons.
Help me, I'm missing! Help! Why are you still eating breakfast? I'm kidnapped! Why are you turning me the other way? I'm still here!
Day one of trying to make it to work without yelling at a pedestrian. Pray for me, y'all. Still alive, still unemployed, but baby, I look G-O-D doing it. Oh my God, I'm not even late, I'm just dramatic. Y'all know I will risk it all for a good melon.
We have breaking news. A laser-guided ship missile has just been launched from Rectomopolis, reportedly targeting Taintsylvania.
We're live from the scene where a laser-guided ship missile launched from Rectomopolis has struck Taintsylvania.
This just in, a pubnadal blankets Taint Louis in a thick bush this evening.
Downtown is completely covered in pubic hair, causing highways to close out of caution.
It's coming right for us. We need to get out of here now. Oh my God, it's taking the houses.
A massive gizzard has buried Kamlambus in 2 feet of dongload. Locals blame the lack of preparation on Mayor Linda P. Slurp.
The city of Columbus is reeling today after an unprecedented event. What officials are calling a gizzard has left downtown streets. Customs officials at Orbital Port 69 have seized over 420 stolen jork blades, many still warm and dripping.
A magnitude 6.9 queefquake rattled Clamlip Valley this morning, releasing a torrent of pussy farts.
The children's reading session of This Little Piggy Got Pegged has been cancelled, with parents saying the book is too anatomically detailed for kids.
Lawmakers remain deadlocked on the big beautiful bill, with some saying $10 billion more is needed for fleshlights and robo-cooters for dudes on dry spells in Los Angeles, because she served her fried chicken instead of a quinoa salad.
Megan Mayonnaise went to the restaurant called The Last Supper, where she claimed she was flabbergasted that they would serve her fried chicken when she in fact ordered a quinoa salad. Ms. Mayonnaise said waitress Sharkeisha Trinity knowingly gave her fried chicken, although Ms. Mayonnaise pleaded that she didn't want to eat any urban food. We have Ms. Mayonnaise along with her attorney, Roger Bangher. Can you explain how you were feeling, Ms. Mayonnaise?
I told Sharkeisha Trinity 300 times, let me speak with your manager. And she just kept twerking, sticking her tongue out and laughing at me.
We have exclusive CCTV footage from the restaurant of Miss Mayonnaise and Sharkeisha's fried chicken confrontation.
Miss Mayonnaise is suing Sharkeisha Trinity for everything she got, which is 3 deadbeat fathers and $100 in unpaid child support.
We need your $80,000 down payment now.
Can I do 6 child support checks, 1 EBT card, 10 Section 8 credits, and 2 Medicaid payments?
We take it all.
Welcome back to White News Network. I'm your host, Kimberly Kumquat. Today, the BFI released documents that claim no special files exist from that one famous island. Wink, wink. BFI director said, quote unquote, although you've seen plenty of known people at that island, no American people, you were just seeing shit. The BFI office also released perfectly edited 24-hour surveillance footage of that jail cell where the main guy in charge was being held. At this point, these guys are playing in our face. Most of you are too blind to see it.
Welcome back, folks, to the White News Network. I'm your host, Tom Blandley, and tonight a white woman is leaving her husband after trying a YN. HOA President Skylar White told WNN she is filing for divorce because, quote unquote, after trying a YN, you never go back. Her husband, Kevin White, owner of Proud Boys Country Club, says he is devastated by the news and that it is, quote unquote, total malarkey. The divorce hearing is set for July 13th at Cornbread District Family Court. If Mrs. White wins, she will be entitled to half of his shit that she never worked for. Next up, rock star Roger Bangher has already impregnated 3 women on his Fuckfest tour. But first, a word from our sponsor.
WHR, would y'all let me fly the plane to Iran? I thought B2 was my apartment number. Oh my God, did I just start the war?
Introducing ChatEBT, the newest AI software limited only to 13% of people. ChatEBT isn't just another basic AI myth. It's built for real-life situations. Let's showcase an example of a man asking for food recommendations.
I'm starving, gang. Let's open ChatEBT. What should I eat tonight?
ChatEBT is fully aligned with real-time data.
giving you the most accurate, up-to-date definitions anywhere.
Define child support.
Unless you ask it to define child support. But ChatGPT isn't just about words or recommendations now. It helps with your everyday tasks and repairs, giving you the best solutions in real time. Here's an example.
Dude, this thing is so annoying, man. ChatGPT, how do I fix this?
You don't, man.
Thank you all for your time today. We're excited for you to experience the future with ChatGPT. We'll see you soon.
All right, we back up in here. Yo, what's up, y'all? What up, chat? Salute, chat. Man, let's do some news. Brother Zeke in the building. Wigwash, hell yeah. What up, Quiet Storm? No news. Irvin. I pinned, bang, there you go. Conclave next year. Be there, be square. I pinned that to the top of the chat. Y'all know where to get your tickets. Lord of Brooklyn. Art of Will. Where you been at, man? All over the internet, huh? Salute to you. Kwame, what up, Playboy? Kwame Kaiju. We got a good show lined up tonight. Actually, we're gonna have a long by the number segment because we got a fresh set of numbers as of today or yesterday, as it were. Universal Black, what's up, Playboy? We got a brand new set of data points, and it's going to be with regard to the temperature in the country right now. And we got it right here first on this channel, me, Saul, and Tito. So salute to us. We called it right. We ain't get gaslit by all the hoteps and everybody trying to gaslight. Yeah, let's nerd out. We're gonna nerd out. I got a really good segment for us. And I don't know who asked me. Maybe it was Brother Zeke about re-going over some of that Soros connection with the Democrat money. We're going to do a small piece on that too later on. And it's apropos because the Trump administration going after the money. But we're going to start off at the top. We had my man JD Vance on interview with Jesse Waters earlier today. And bruh, he say the quiet part out loud, but they saying it calmly and coolly, bro. They about to get busy. So let's do some news. This is JD Vance, and we're gonna break down what he's saying. And this is why I be saying JD Vance is the dangerous one. He's the killer. He'll say it calm with a smile on his face, but he let you know he coming to take your head. Vance is the dangerous one. I want him to win 2028, by the way. because we're gonna need another 4 years after Trump to roll all this shit back, and we're gonna dig into this suspect and all this crazy transformer violence mess. Shout out to Tito because he called it before anybody. But
did Kirk's assassin act alone? How big of a threat is trans terrorism? And why is Barack Obama pointing fingers? Here's part 2 of my exclusive with Vice President J.D. Vance. The FBI is now looking into as many as 20 or more other people who may have corresponded with this assassin beforehand. There may have been foreknowledge of the shooting. If there are co-conspirators here, what kind of threat level are we talking about?
Well, we don't know, Jesse, and that's why I've been so proud of Cash and the way that he's handled this investigation, because he's cast as wide a net as humanly possible. And the FBI really is looking at everything. By the way, there's a lot of weird stuff out there. For example, the CEO of Discord, or one of the leaders of Discord, said that there were no Discord chats that involved this guy. Now we know that there were Discord chats that involved this guy. So we need to look at everything. We need to.
So Discord is under scrutiny. You're gonna have the FBI, NSA going all through their servers.
To leave no stone unturned. My own attitude to this, and people will send me stuff, Jesse, from the deepest, darkest corners of the internet. Some of it sounds pretty crazy, but I'll send it to Cash and I'll talk to my team because I want us to leave no stone unturned. It's the
that's a good one, though, news. There you go. That's the new word right there. T cells. No, we're gonna dive into a little bit of this T cell faction or cabal that we got going on over here in the States. I got a couple news segments on it, bro. They not playing, bro, and it's scary shit. T cells, it is.
Only way to honor Charlie is to get to the bottom of exactly how this person was radicalized and who else was involved in it. Now, we could find out that this person was radicalized and it was terrible and there were a lot of very evil people in his life, but they didn't have foreknowledge. Right. We may find out that there were many, many people who were involved in helping this guy pull off the shooting. We just have to get to the bottom of it. That's what justice demands. That's what being a good friend to Charlie demands.
The militant transgender movement, is that a domestic?
Bang, there we go. There we go. Yo, we said this the night we covered it. This is a militant transgender movement issue. This ain't got nothing to do with black men. Sit this one out. All these hotaps and all this jumping on the F. Charlie Kirk bandwagon. Y'all basically, they got you running cover for militant radicalized trans. That's a bad look. I've been saying that's a bad look. Just sit that one out. Y'all wasn't worried about Charlie Kirk before this. Don't worry about him now. Let the federal government deal with these militant, this militant trans furry community. Y'all look goofy out here, bro. Sign with the yo, and they're gonna make you the face of defending the trans movement, bro. Fall back.
Terrorist threat. If you are encouraging people to commit acts of violence,
and by the way, they just are classifying them as a terrorist organization, bro. You don't want no parts of that, and y'all can have it if y'all want. As far as I'm concerned, y'all just gonna be collateral damage
against the United States government or against your fellow Americans. Absolutely, you're involved in a terrorist movement. I don't know enough about that particular organization, but what you increasingly see, Jesse, is you see people in the trans community and other members of the far left who are saying they are.
Yo, you hear this? Did you hear black men or black anything? They talking about far left and trans. What is y'all online going after this man for? Y'all ain't caring. Yo, y'all look crazy, bro. And I'm gonna show you the CNN segment where they pull Montel Williams out of the woodwork to get up there and basically defend the trans shooter, bro. So they trying to make a black man the face of the radical trans movement. Y'all niggas is falling for the banana in the tailpipe with this shit. Me, Saul, and Tito told you. Quiet Storm said, I don't know. There's more goofy. The Hotep's crashing out over Charlie Kirk, or the Keisha's crashing out over Kamala. Show me the nearest airport, bruh. Y'all could do yo. Like I said, y'all just gonna be collateral damage as far as I'm concerned. And like Tito said, the moderate right died with Charlie Kirk. They don't care nothing about you pulling a race card no more, bro. They're gonna be like, all right, they're gonna sweep you up right with them, bro. Like y'all look crazy crashing out for radical trans, bro. Y'all look crazy.
So threatened by negative rhetoric that they must take arms and attack people. If your movement is telling you to commit acts of violence against people for speaking words that you don't like, number one, you're evil. And number two, you are engaged in a terrorist movement. And that's part of what we have to root out in the White House. And this is very important, Jesse. I've talked to a lot of people about this. I've talked to...
Yo, once again, listen to the keywords. The keywords are terrorists, trans, and radical left. You ain't hear black FBA black men nowhere in that. The only thing regarding black men is him sending National Guard to Memphis and Chicago. You see, y'all want to crash out for a bunch of T's and T's dressing up like stuffed animals, furries and shit. Y'all want to get busy? Yo, have at it. Lord of Brooklyn said, why didn't they bring out Montel when he had Madam Vice President come out? Yeah, on the team in the 90s. Yo, they threw this boy some cash. He must be hard up for some cash. I'll be out here shilling for a trans shooter. I'm gonna show you the CNN segment.
You know, Stephen Miller probably 7 times in the past 2 days. We are working very hard to ensure that the funding networks for left-wing violence, that the radicalization networks for left-wing violence, that if you encourage or fund your fellow Americans or anybody else to commit acts of violence because you disagree with political speech, you are going to be treated like a terrorist organization.
You hear that? Yo, Charlie Kirk was like one of J.D. Vance's best friends. Y'all, it's like y'all shot his little brother. You hear what he said? And he's saying, we're going to treat you like terrorists. Y'all can't, y'all have at it, crashing out for this trans lover shooter, bro. Y'all look crazy, bro. And y'all gonna get swept up in this terrorist dragnet.
And we're gonna go after you.
Because Joe Biden said,
you heard him? And we're gonna go after you.
White supremacy was the biggest domestic terror threat.
Which, of course, is absurd. The statistics don't bear that out. But if you look at what the Biden administration did against the phantom threat of white supremacy, we actually need to take some of the lessons and say, if there is funding sources that is going for this stuff, if you're an NGO and you're actually funding riots and other kinds of political violence, why wouldn't we go after that?
You hear that? NGOs, that's what I'll be saying, the nonprofit industrial complex, they already took USAID out. We've seen the George, they're about to go after the money. They're going after the news organizations. FCC just told ABC they're about to fine them. Kimmel just got canceled today. Kimmel's done. They are not playing, bro, and they just getting started. RICO charges is coming. Yo, they locking mad people up. Y'all goofies keep crashing out on this Charlie Kirk shit. Did you hear them say black men? Did you hear anything black? Did you hear anything black? We not in this. You know what I'm saying? Sit this one out.
Why wouldn't we cut off those funding sources? And why wouldn't we prosecute people who engage in violence? It's interesting, Jesse. The people who are saying this is Gestapo stuff, they're calling us Nazis for saying that if you're funding or supporting left-wing violence, you ought to pay consequences for it. It really makes you think that the left has not done any of the soul searching it has to do to actually deal with political violence in this country.
Jasmine Crockett says, yeah, she calls people hit.
See, look, bro, they not playing. He just called Jasmine Crockett out. Yo, they see the play, bro. The gloves is off. You seen that little black girl down in Texas? She just got expelled from school and arrested for jumping around saying your homie did. Yo, you the Keishas, all y'all hoteps, race houses, yo, y'all gonna learn.
Hitler, but it doesn't mean she's responsible for any violence that happens.
Well, I'd ask Jasmine Crockett, what is it that you want people to do when you call them Nazis? What is it that you want them to do when you call them fascists? What is the proper response when you say that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Charlie Kirk are threatening your safety? What do you expect people to do? This rhetoric is completely out of control, and it's part of this entire network of violence that exists on the far left. You dehumanize your political opponents. You fund paid activists to go and harass them and terrorize them. We've had a White House senior staffer just in the past week who has had actual representatives of the Democratic Party going around passing leaflets, trying to get his neighbors to harass him and showing people where he lives, where his wife lives, where his young family lives. If that's not political violence, if that's not political harassment, I don't know what the term means.
Barack Obama says your White House is dividing the country and you're exploiting Kirk's death to attack Democrats.
We're not exploiting Charlie Kirk's death to do anything except for achieve justice. And I think if Barack Obama, I haven't seen that comment, Jesse, but if he said that, that's absolutely disgusting. What we're trying to do is understand how young people are getting radicalized and who is funding all of these efforts at radicalization. We saw this in the summer of 2020. Now, thank God that wasn't primarily, actually over 20 people died in the riots in the summer of 2020. That is political terrorism. But it's not just the people who are killing the cops. It's not just the people who are engaging and throwing the Molotov cocktails and in the riots. Where was the money coming from? Who was organizing this violent activity? That is not going after Democrats.
That's what you see what I'm saying. You see how JD Vance say the quiet part out loud, but it seemed like he ain't saying nothing. He keeps saying, "Where's the money coming from?" They letting you know what they gonna do, bro. They auditing everything. They gonna do an Al Capone. The IRS going to get involved. NSA, everybody. They combing through everything, bro. Discord servers, Reddit, the whole shit. The whole shit, bro. They scurrying social media. You see 1,000+ people that already lost their jobs. Y'all think it's a game? Lord of Brooklyn said, what Lord of Brooklyn said? Bang, there you go, right there. He said, "I'm watching on a daily basis as black men are taking out of context clips and using them as a basis for falsely disparaging Charlie Kirk in the aftermath of his assassination." Exactly. It is not unnoticed. Bro, don't put yourself on the radar for something that ain't got nothing to do with you. I done said this initially when this happened, and I done said it a couple other times. This is the first time in the long history of America where the full weight of the federal government is not breathing down black man's neck. So don't volunteer for them. Like they got their eyes completely set on somebody else. They is not worried about you. Don't give them a reason to worry about you.
Unless, by implication, you're saying every single Democrat is involved in planning political violence. If that's true, then the problem isn't on Barack Obama's side. We're going to get to the bottom of the truth, and we're going to stop the political violence. And we're going to do it however we have to do it, of course, within the constitutional limits.
You heard him? This is why JD Vance is dangerous. See how slick he is? He said we're going to do it however we have to do it. Of course, within the guidelines of the law. Yo, JD Vance is the ruthless one, bro. I'm telling you.
Limits that Charlie loves so much.
Joe Biden's FBI investigated Turning Point, investigated Charlie Kirk.
I found out a couple of days ago, Jesse, that Joe Biden's FBI investigated a dear friend of mine who's a political consultant. They were sicking law enforcement after their political opponents every single day. It's an open secret at this point. We're talking about having law enforcement go after the people who engage in and fund literal violence. And they're saying somehow that's beyond the pale, even though we know Joe Biden's FBI was investigating Charlie Kirk. Maybe they should have been investigating the networks that motivated, inspired, and maybe even funded Charlie Kirk's murder. If they had, Charlie Kirk might be alive today.
I'm glad we have transparency. We need transparency on this trial. Do you support putting cameras in the courtroom so we can see this assassin face justice?
You know, I've never thought of that, Jesse, but sure, I support transparency in all ways. I think having the trial, you know,
I ain't even gonna hold you. This whole administration is gangster. Everybody Trump got around him. You see how Vance sitting back like with his legs open and his hands crossed. He like, yeah, it's a done deal. It's a done deal, buddy. We going after him. We gonna crack some heads. Yo, listen. And the thing is, they ain't gonna be loud about it. It's gonna be a slow creep, bro. They gonna walk them down slow. Next thing you know, so and so being brought up on charges for this. Couple months later, so and so being brought up on charges for this. They're gonna walk them down slow. Kwame Kaiju got it right. He said, "We have not seen this much resistance against the far left since Ulysses S. Grant's presidency." That's spot on.
Recorded, having it on TV, that strikes me as a good idea. But the most important thing I think that we can do as a government, aside from reporting and actually televising the trial, is we just have to be honest with people about what we're finding. And we're really trying to do that. Look, investigations are complicated and difficult. There's a fog of war where a lot of information comes in. We're trying to screen it. I've told this to Cash. I've told this to our Department of Justice. The most important thing that we can do is just be honest about what we're finding, how we're finding it, when we're finding it, because I think that transparency is going to give people the faith that we're doing this the right way.
Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us. I know this has been a tough time. You were very close with Charlie Kirk. And I'd also like to thank our Turning Point students over here.
Yo, No News said Destiny literally used Obama's statement word for word with Andrew Wilson, who appears on the Whatever podcast. I saw that and I actually have the article Obama wrote. We'll probably cover that tomorrow on the editor's desk. But it's already been leaked that Destiny's receiving money from the Democratic Party, something like $20,000 a month to run that. And Destiny's in these Reddits. You know, he's not non-binary, but you know, he's on his weird sexuality to like, bro, like it runs deep. And actually, Elon just put on Twitter that Destiny should be arrested, actually, because he was saying some crazy stuff on to Andrew Wilson about Charlie Kirk and whatnot. So, bro, they're calling for people to be arrested. They are not playing, bro. I said, y'all, all y'all hoes have some stuff jumping out the window. Y'all better fall back. All right, let's do yo, they just got rid of Jimmy Kimmel in one fell swoop, bro. He's done. I don't even think he might be going on tonight, but we're gonna cover that. Let's cover that next. Let me load that segment up. Here's Keisha in boot camp.
Keisha, I'll call you back. What the fuck you want?
Hi, ma'am. You've been drafted.
Yeah, fucking right, bitch. I ain't ever opening the damn door for no white person ever again. Fuck that dude, Brad or Billy or dipshit, whatever the fuck. Can't believe they got my pretty ass out here going to boot camp. They done got me all the way fucked up.
Michael Hunt, Chase A. Deke, or Attic. Sorry, Shanika Manning?
It's Shaniqua, bitch. I know damn well that you know who the fuck I am.
Excuse me, you need to calm the fuck down, Sharkeisha. This isn't your hood-ass ratchet nail salon. You ain't with your fucking Cheeto finger-licking bitches here, okay?
Damn, girl, this actually feels kind of good.
Niggas gay, niggas gay, niggas gay, niggas gay, niggas gay.
Hey, Shaniqua, I know we got off on the wrong foot, so we got you this new Nissan Altima to crash into the enemy with.
Brad ain't no fucking way. That's all mine? Fuck these motherfuckers. I'm getting the hell out of here. I need me some fried chicken, a new weave, and some nails. I ain't got no time to be saving the world and
Oh, these Keisha crash out AI drawers is bad funny, cuz. He said we need to cancel the view next. Hell yeah. All right, this is your boy Jimmy Kimmel to join Stephen Colbert at the unemployment line. Let's get it. Let's see. Oh boy, what you say about Jimmy Kimmel? Brooklyn? What's up with my chat? Bang, there we go. So Jimmy Kimmel is not fooling me. He was about to be canceled by the ABC for low ratings and decided to use Charlie Kirk's assassination as a means to make him a victim in support of progressives. You might have a point there. Jimmy Kimmel turned into a hack. He used to be funny.
Jimmy Kimmel has been pulled off the air by ABC. I know a lot of you Like to hear that. ABC announcing the show is pulled off the schedule indefinitely after one of the biggest owners of TV stations in the U.S., Nexstar, announced that it would preempt all of Kimmel's episodes across her affiliates. This all comes, of course, after Kimmel said this on Monday night.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
That was just next level disinformation, political disinformation from a political ideologist, and just he's an indoctrinator. That's all he's trying to do. And Carrie Lake is a senior advisor for U.S. Global Agency, U.S. Agency for Global Media, and she joins us now. Carrie, this popped up just before the show. It couldn't have happened to a more appropriate person, but the claim that he made was well after we knew what the motive was here, what this kid was trying to do, and he gets out there and says this kid is MAGA. He shouldn't be surprised that you can't keep doing this, and think you're going to get away with it.
It's absolutely sick. I mean, it shows that they don't know what to do on the side of depraved. The story that they've been pumping up is collapsing around them, so they keep perpetuating it, gaslighting what followers they have left, which isn't many. I know the ratings have been in the toilet for a long time for Jimmy Kimmel. Maybe this is a good excuse for ABC just to let him go and say, wow, the ratings stink. Let's just get rid of him. Mm-hmm. And he'll join Stephen Colbert on the unemployment line. Look, we have free speech in this country. Mm-hmm. Our side is for free speech, but there are consequences of your speech. And your employer doesn't have to keep you. Nexstar doesn't have to continue running your terrible show. The only thing Jimmy Kimmel has accomplished is to push out what he called comedy, which was drivel. And frankly, he killed comedy. This late night talk show hosts who aren't funny have killed comedy.
Yeah, and they've done it for their own political agenda. And I can't wait to hear him start screaming fascism. That Trump forced ABC to do this and that. The same thing that Colbert and his stupid Emmy that he got. It's just such a ridiculous narrative that they have. I got to leave it there. The show's tight. But Carrie Lake, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, bet. Let's I want to show this Montel Williams segment with him. Bro, they really played this boy. They paid him to come on Abby Phillips, and they got him saying some goofy shit about this tea shooter. And what I don't like is that they're inadvertently making the black man the face of this tea issue. And that's why I got that poll in the chat. This don't got nothing to do with us. And they got Montel up there like defending the tea love affair, bro. It's crazy when you see this shit. Goofy as hell.
The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting, and he did provide those messages to police. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence.
There's prosecutors in Utah describing some of the text messages Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin sent to his roommate. These are text messages that an ABC News reporter described like this.
It was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate who was transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love.
Touching, not the word that comes to mind, as an assassin admitted to his assassination. But the backlash Matt Gutman received prompted him to apologize, posting in part that he, quote, tried to underscore the jarring contrast between Kirk's death and the text between the suspected assassin and his roommate, and that he deeply regrets his words that he did not make clearer for his audience. The apology coming after Gutman's comments sparked outrage that Jesse Waters summed up like this.
ABC's touched by text messages between an assassin and his trans roommate. Disney is tickled by the intimacy of a killer telling his trans roommate how to orchestrate a cover-up.
Okay, so that was the ABC reporter. You see, there was a white guy who did it first, right? So then there's all this huge backlash, and ABC had to issue an apology. And so CNN gets a black man to do it next, which is Montel Jordan. And I don't know if he got any backlash yet, but you see that the white boy did it first. They got the back, so then they brought the black man in to be the face of it. But let's play it all out.
This isn't a love story. This is a cold-blooded murderer obstructing justice.
Now, as we continue to learn what may have motivated Tyler Robinson to allegedly carry out that deadly attack on Charlie Kirk, the prosecutors, of course, outlined exactly what they thought that was. A bipartisan group of senators from Pennsylvania, John Fetterman and Dave McCormick, spoke with Bret Baier last night, calling on the American people to tone down the violent rhetoric.
There's just no place in this country for political violence. It's absolutely something. It runs counter to the very idea of free speech and freedom.
Any kinds of extreme rhetoric, left or right, is really dangerous. And now it's just Luigi had his latest thing. This coward executed a father and a businessman just because you happen to disagree with his business. It's just unacceptable, and we have to just absolutely turn the heat down.
Harris says the world heard those text messages yesterday. They probably got a chill, much like I did, thinking about someone, a suspected assassin, describing in detail what he had done. But an ABC reporter's first gut reaction is to call them touching.
Look, I don't know Matt Gutman, so I can't say what he was thinking, what he wasn't thinking. I thought the apology was an interesting one because I don't think it cleared up the core issue there. Why did you even think to talk about the love from a killer? Why does it matter? He killed. I think the point is just to cover the case. And what I'm looking for in this case is you've got a roommate in Lance Twiggs, because we know his name now. You've got a transitioning roommate who was having a conversation about his lover after he killed a guy. I think that's what we should be looking at. So I can't speak for that reporter, but I can tell you that he apparently thought there might be a home for those comments. I think he's finding out that maybe that home ends at the threshold of his door.
Well, I heard this and I couldn't believe it. I want you to listen to Montel Williams describe Tyler Robinson as a love.
See, this is what I'm saying. So they're about to play the Montel clip, and then I'll find the clip, the full joint on CNN, and we'll go over that one tomorrow. But you see the sequence? They got the white guy to do it first. There's all this blowback. ABC had to issue an apology. So what CNN do? They do the same thing with the same talking point, but they put a black man's face on it. Bro, they got y'all out here vouching for a T-cell love affair / furry love affair from an ultra left-wing assassin. Bro. Black man, they got you down bad, bro. Like, sit this one out.
Love-torn child, just a kid. Watch.
What we're really talking about, hear me because I'm going to throw you when I say this. We're talking about.
Wait. Look at Scott Jennings' face. Yo, look at Scott Jennings' face. Look at that. Like, nigga, what the fuck is you talking about, nigga? Gog face. Yo, I'm gonna have to find the full exchange, and of course they got him on the Abby Phillips show, you know, with the Keisha, with the tether Keisha up front, bro. This is a setup. Look at Scott Jennings' face.
A love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved.
Look, this what we doing, black man? We up here advocating for trans furry love militant shooters. That's what we doing?
Born child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally. I think this was a emotionally stunted person who literally.
This nigga up here making an emotional argument for yo. Black man, they got you down bad. This ain't got nothing to do with your gong face, Montel. Look, and I stopped it. Look at his face. Fuck out of here, cuz. Fuck out of here with that.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Yo, straight up, bro. I can't. I gotta give him this joint.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? Is Wayne...
I want to say it this way, just hear me, tried to defend his significant other, not trying to defend some ideology.
Defending his significant other, except I want you to listen very closely to what the county attorney said and what the CNN legal analyst said on the very network Montel Williams made those comments. Listen.
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate.
Emily, on the back end, we were supposed to have the CNN legal analyst there who went on to vouch for the county attorney and said that's not a partisan actor. That's someone, when he talks about a motive, he is talking from a place of fact, knowing he has a trial in front of him.
And especially cognizant that every word out of his mouth in this public setting can also be used against him by defense. So yes, treading carefully to make sure he's absolutely glued to only what we know. I think the ABC comments and the CNN comments that you played earlier are absolutely, it is a new horrifying low. The only thing that I agree with is, yes, the alleged murderer is stunted, indeed. But to make this about the periphery, to make this about, what immediately came to my mind when I was seeing that and reading that is how a lot of domestic violence victims, the last text they receive from their husband or their partner or their love is something like, you know, if
Yo, no news said the quiet part out loud. That's a whole fact, though, bro. Like this, yo. He said defend the dudes that get man buns with the mascot helmet on is nasty work. Facts. Yo, bro, that's a bad look, man. Stand down, bro. Sit this one out.
you won't live with me, you won't live with anyone, like that kind of thing. I will love you till the day I die. And then they end up getting murdered. That is sick. And it is sick and twisted to somehow bring that into the callous, cold-blooded, premeditated murder of Charlie Kirk that has nothing to do with his personal or her personal relationships on the side. Shame on those networks. And by the way, that sort of like tepid apology did nothing. That was a word salad and did nothing to obfuscate the real meaning of his words that were actually quite clear, buddy. Quite clear what you meant the first time you said it.
Yeah, so you have the partisan commentators and I guess the partisan reporter making these comments. Cheryl, Caitlin Collins presents herself as a White House correspondent who only goes by the facts, but I don't know if she was sleeping during the press conference yesterday. She didn't seem to find these facts.
We don't have a motive yet. We don't know yet. We're waiting. Obviously, we've heard what the governor's had to say, what the FBI director said today.
Come on, we don't have a motive yet.
We know.
We don't have a motive yet.
What's
really?
happening with?
Really, that's CNN's position.
I mean, from law enforcement,
he just happened
Senator.
to fire the gun in celebration.
Maybe someone could send this to Caitlin, but Cheryl, I just want to put on the screen. We don't have a motive. This is the roommate. Why did you do this? Why did I do it, Robinson? Yeah. And he says quite clearly, I had enough of his hatred, referring to Charlie. Some hatred cannot be negotiated with. That is a motive written in a text message.
So don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, apparently, if you're Caitlin Collins. That's really troubling. That not just that, but the apologist.
Once again, man, I've been going through all this clip. You hear anything about black men in this joint? Anything black? Anything? Y'all got main character syndrome, man. I keep telling y'all, but they throwing the word terrorist organization around. We about to go after them, man. Anybody supporting this, we going after them. Bro, y'all better fall back.
That we're starting to see, not just with Luigi Mangione, which we saw in New York yesterday, the craziness down there, but then obviously somebody like a Montel Williams. And the Gutman thing, I was floored by that. I don't know neither to your point, but I was floored when he said that. I said, you were actually trying to empathize and get sympathy for a cold-blooded killer who, yes, in those text messages said exactly why he did it. His parents have come out and said that he had become more radicalized. He had gone more left. Like, this is all in the evidence that's being presented by the prosecutors and officials in Utah. It's really shocking to me what has happened in our country. I'm really trying to wrap my head around still where we're at right now.
Tom, in the media, they always love to lecture. It's a favorite line of theirs.
Quiet Storm said, did you see Cash Patel cook Cory Booker? I seen a piece of it. I'll play a full segment of the Senate hearing. We played. What did we do yesterday? We did Cash and Schiff. All right, we'll do Cory Booker tomorrow. Yeah, facts. What we got? Nothing about black men, but one Montel Williams decided to insert himself like a damn tampon. They paid him for that. They paid him for that appearance. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the social engineering. You seen the white news reporter did it. They got backlash. They had to issue an apology and everything. So what they do, they throw Montel. When the last time you seen Montel Williams on anything? That mean they made a bunch of calls, and the only celebrity dude that would be like, oh, get up there and defend this the trans shooter? Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna pass on that one, dog. They had to go get Montel, throw him some cash to go do it. Bro, that's good. It's a bad look, bro. The facts. I'm surprised they didn't get Don Lemon. That's a whole fact, though. Don get the long face.
We have to have a common set of facts. We can't live in conspiracy land. It seems that they're denying a common set of facts. You referred to not just the text messages, but the mom saying he had a leftist ideology. It developed within the last year. We have facts as laid out in an indictment.
Yeah, and I think here's what I'm going to say about all these people. Montel, he had his own thing. We have people trying to change the narrative. They don't want it to be political, so they're going to reach for anything. As to the on-scene reporter, I want to try to offer a little grace because I sit in a warm studio and we have these on-scene reporters that report in to me all the time when I'm hosting a show. And they have such a hard job. And I always think to myself, I'm glad I'm not out there during a murder scene or a hurricane. And I would...
Screw that guy. All right, let's... All right, we at the 52-minute mark. All right, we got enough time for the Soros and by the numbers segment. So I'm going to show you, bro, they're not playing around. They doing it. We're going to do this Discord deep dive segment. Bro, it's all top of the news, all on the not mainstream, like BSNBC and CNN, like the DNC run media. He said, everybody says all the typical black talk heads already got paid and trying to change their own narrative. Well, you seen Al Sharpton did a complete about face. He know what's coming. He don't want no parts. I'll give it to Al Sharpton. He's a survivor. And he know which way the wind blowing. Yeah, Gen Z doesn't even know about Montel Williams. Man. So yeah, let's do. So I'm showing you like bro, they really digging deep. So let's do the segment with them doing the research on these Discord servers. Like, bro, this shit is all some deep dive, ultra left wing, weird trans shit, bro. This shit ain't got nothing to do with black men, as I'm going to show you. Just stand down.
Good evening, I'm Tom Tucker with some breaking news. A local kidnapping has rocked Quahog tonight. Rocked Quahog? Really? The whole town is rocked? The family, maybe, is rocked, but the whole... All right, well, in any event, we now go live to Asian reporter Trisha Takanawa. Let's see how much she's rocked by all this. Trisha?
Tom, I'm standing here with Mayor Adam West with the latest information about the disappearance of young Scotty Jennings. What can you tell us, Mr. Mayor?
Please, Mr. Mayor is my father. Call me John Mayor. Your body is a wonderland, by the way.
What is the city doing to help rescue the missing boy?
Well, we're looking for this child using all the latest technology, including the newest, most advanced multimedia milk cartons.
Help me, I'm missing! Help! Why are you still eating breakfast? I'm kidnapped! Why are you turning me the other way? I'm still here!
All right, bet. Let's do it. This one is a Discord deep dive. How a gamer chat platform became allegedly notorious. So they got their eyes on Discord because this and Reddit is where this dude lived and where he got recruited.
For more, let's bring in the cyber guy, Kurt Knudsen. Do you have that trademark, by the way, the cyber guy? Is that like a T-shirt?
We do, as a matter of fact. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
very,
Fox
very
is so
smart.
dummy.
So Discord seems to be a new term. It's an actual app. Can you explain to people what it does and how it works and why it's evolved into something very terrible in some cases?
Good question, Marcus. Lisa, also good to see you. Discord is something that was really a platform for gamers, but now it's evolved into a chat platform, essentially, with text, voice, and also video. It's very popular with teens, and it started way back for the gamers, but now that platform makes it super easy, unfortunately, for bad actors to connect with vulnerable users in these private spaces that they call servers. So instead of a chat room, they call it a server. And they build trust over time with people, recruit them. There's no doubt it's being used for that. Kids can encounter, by the way, strangers and inappropriate content here. A lot of private messages and voice chats can be really, really hard to discover or monitor because they are in and of itself private. So unless somebody using it decides to share it, or if there is a subpoena that causes Discord to have to reveal it, no one's going to know what's really going on in there.
You know, Kurt, we heard from the FBI Director Kash Patel talking about how he's going to look into the individuals who are part of this chat. We also heard that from the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche today on Fox. How difficult would that be for them to try to track those individuals down? How complex would that be, or is it?
Well, Lisa, I mean, really, really smart question.
Oh, Dr. Common Sense. All right, bet. All right. We might we might cover that tomorrow. Then we might have him go through the Montel Williams segment because this is a key point. Yo, they are purposely trying to make black men like the face of defending this shit. And like the Hoteps got y'all jumping off a cliff on some goofy shit. When nobody worried about Charlie Kirk and the black community, they didn't even know who he was, bro. Like, leave that shit alone, bro. Because they coming after people just talking bad about him and everything. Like, and y'all look goofy coming after that boy. It basically in context or in conjunction with this weird shit that's at the core of this. Like, you don't want to be associated with that at all.
Because we need to hold these companies more accountable. And the fact is, Discord probably has a lot of technology inside of it, which could trigger an algorithm to then notify, say, a human on the inside. They've already got safety protocols well established, but they could dial those up. To what extent, I don't know, because they haven't done it. But what we know is when we're on other platforms like Facebook, or we're on Instagram, or, you name it, what we know is you and I will be searching for something, an hour ago, and suddenly it's appearing in those feeds. How does that happen? Well, that has to do with their clever algorithm and the engagement. So why couldn't they use that very same immediate technology for safety to answer to people self-harming or ready to do an attack on another American? It's one of those things that really all these tech companies, I don't just mean Discord, I mean the entire Section 230 escape mechanism that all these technology companies are using in social media to say, oh, not our problem. It's awfully bad. We're real sorry about that, but we're just the middle ground. So I think this is really a nice, terrible moment, but a nice opening to some accountability. Hopefully, we'll start to see some accountability of these tech companies in this arena.
Kurt, I don't think accountability takes it far enough. I think somebody needs to kick the door down because obviously people have the possibility of hurting others or hurting themselves.
You see how they talking now? They like, nah, somebody needs to kick the door down. We don't care about accountability no more. Somebody needs to get locked up. Somebody needs to go to jail. And Pookie and Ray show. Yo, this comment is wow. He said Dookie Love is being presented as the new black love. Yo, I can't be mad at you. You ain't lying. Dookie love though, bro. Yo, but that's a whole fact though, man. Yo. All right, let's up. All right, boom. We got enough time to cover the two big segments I want to cover. Let's do this is Rob Finnery over at Newsmax, and I'm playing these segments to make my point about this don't got nothing to do with us, bro. This one is trans violence is beyond a problem. You see what I'm saying? T-cell shit. I'm playing all this shit. Do you hear anything about black men and racism and it? Like, bro, this ain't got nothing to do with us. I'm telling y'all, stand down.
We're out of time. What do you fancy? Awkward pause, mouth organ. You could play the trombone. You could.
I'd like to play a musical instrument.
Well, how about the mouth organ?
Okay, sounds
It's pretty simple. Just open the box and blow. Yep, that's great. Best I ever heard.
All right, bet. Yeah, fleece T-cell. Let me see. Hold on. What y'all got here? The chat funny. Hold on. What up, chat? That's fact. And it was the Keishas crashing out first, Lord of Brooklyn. Black women are the largest demographic of Albions. Yup. Inmates are running the asylum. Bruh. Bro, this is a huge social engineering 52 fake out, bro. And and I'm telling you, the other thing is I'm gonna repeat what Tito said, because he hit it right on the head. The moderate right is dead, bro, with Charlie. It's and what's replacing it, bro? All this, like, y'all being able to cry, oh, that's racist and this, and they're gonna be sympathy from white people. That shit is dead. You'll get some fake sympathy on the left, but bro, they ain't gonna want to hear about nothing being racist, none of that no more, bro. I'm telling you, think it's a game. All that sympathy is like all that race card shit. That shit ain't flying no more. You can't shame. You used to be that era of being able to shame the right and Republicans for saying for doing things and enacting policies and them rolling it back and coming out and apologizing for shit and all that. All that shit dead, cuz I'm telling you. So this one is trans violence is beyond a problem. The federal government has their eye firmly focused on this radical T shit and the ubiquitous backdooria action. This shit ain't got. They are not concerned about the heterosexual, productive FBA black man. You see what I'm saying? This shit ain't got nothing to do with us.
Evening. Welcome back to Finnerty. Glad you're here. I'm Rob Finnerty, and we mentioned this last night. The media just aren't interested in covering the Charlie Kirk story. Not really. Not honestly. Which is strange coming from people that love talking about root causes. They seem completely disinterested in reporting or investigating the root causes of the violence on the left, of trans violence or trans terrorism or trans Tifa, whatever you want to call it. We're not.
You hear that? This is the number one priority of the federal government. Trans violence, trans Tifa, trans activism. You ain't hear nothing about FBA, heterosexual black men. This ain't got nothing to do with us, bro. This ain't got nothing to do with us. Fall back.
Not trying to be cruel, but the left wants to pretend that none of this is a problem, but it is. At this point, trans violence is beyond a problem, but instead of covering it, the media would rather report on fake problems in the Trump administration because that's what really matters.
Y'all gotta peep, man. They're just coming out and saying it now. Like, this is the problem and we're going after it. They ain't worried about any of this being called a transphobe, none of this. They telling you to their face, we coming for you. No dude, stupid. Yo, that's a whole fact, though. He said people forget those are still fighting age males with a wig on. That's a whole fact, though.
Tonight, right? The difference is this time Donald Trump is not taking the bait.
Take a look at what he did with respect to this horrible person that he just captured. He did it in 2 days. It took other similar cases 4 days, 5 days, 4 years, if you look at certain shooters. Now, I have confidence in everybody in the administration.
It's kind of pathetic, really, how marginalized these people have become in the legacy media. But they are asking questions like that for a reason. And we're going to explain that to you tonight in detail. But first, and this is important, the media would rather ask the president about his FBI director rather than asking about the assassin and his transgender love mate. And like we said last night, we're just not interested in playing you sound bites from the left, from CNN, from MS Now, to prove to you once again how lost these people really are. You know what they're saying, and you know it without even seeing it, and we feel like we know you. And you also know that the legacy media played a big role in what happened last week, and they have cashed in on fear and catered to the most extreme on the left for years, and now they are covering this story by covering it up completely, and they're doing that on purpose. In April, Rutgers University asked 1,200 people a very simple question: is murdering Donald Trump justified? The results were also simple. People on the right overwhelmingly said no, but 56% of people on the left said yes. And 50% of people on the left said the same thing when it came to murdering Elon Musk. Think about that. The fact that we even have to ask a question like that says something, and it's not good. They didn't ask Americans if they thought killing JFK was justified after it happened. They didn't have to. Times were different. So what does it tell you now when almost 60% of people on the left think that assassinating Donald Trump just isn't a big deal, that it would be somewhat justified? That was in April, 10 months after Butler, Pennsylvania.
And, you know, we made commentary about and I even put it in a poll yesterday about the shift in the political environment after this event with Charlie Kirk. Do you think it's changed? It has changed. This news segment is a perfect example of this. Prior to this, you would have never seen a news segment like this, blatantly calling that community an enemy of the state, essentially, and blatantly saying that the government should go after them and that they are going after them. This is what I'm saying, that it's subtle, it's in your face. You don't see the right yelling and screaming and rioting and none of that. They got their hands on the lever of power in all agencies. This is what, 5-6 days? Well, we did Sunday. Yeah, this is close to 5 to 6 days after this. You got the vice president on television. You would have never seen a news segment like this a year ago. They're calling the T's violent, the albiquita, and you don't hear peep from the albiquita community, do you? They know what time it is. You got more Keishas and Hoteps crashing out than albiquitas, really. After them 1,000 people lost their jobs, I mean, you don't hear it that much. They know what time it is. All this shit about to be rolled back. Pookie and Ray Ray show said they finna be on I'm not gay no more. I gotta refind that drop. I had that drop. Yo, that's a whole fact, man.
The left are in the middle of something right now that goes way beyond politics, but the media would rather ask Donald Trump about Kash Patel instead of asking about the real story that's staring all of us in the face, and the vice president has finally had enough.
I believe we must, but unity, real unity, can be found only after climbing the mountain of truth. One truth is that 24% of self-described, quote, very liberals believe it is acceptable to be happy about the death of a political opponent. Most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
That's J.D. Vance hosting Charlie Kirk's radio show. According to a YouGov poll,
boom, you peeped that? And J.D. Vance said that on Charlie Kirk's radio show. Because Charlie Kirk's dead. So J.D. Vance sat in for him. That's not an accident. That's symbolism. That's J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, saying, okay, you took out our boy. I'm sitting here now. Do something about it. They doing it right in your face, bro. Saul in the building. He said, yup, the giblets are quiet, man. The giblets are quiet. They telling you right to your face, we coming for you. Saul said, be careful. They're going to morph and transform again and try to hide them. Yup, try to hide amongst straight people. Facts. And to piggyback on that, they're going to try and get the bliggity blacks. They're going to try and hide amongst the biggity blacks. You know what I'm saying? You got more black people out there calling Charlie Kirk a racist. If he is or if he isn't, that's that's not the fucking point, right? You don't got all these albiquitas and backdoorias out there screaming all this, he's a transphobe and all that other stuff, right? They got their head down low, right? Because they know what's coming. How come y'all the only one can't read the fucking room? Yo, shout out to Saul, shout out to Tito. We got this shit right from the gate. Pookie said the elastic tore out their organic waistbands and they way to the on their way to the psychiatric hospital.
that was taken after Charlie was assassinated. 18% of people who call themselves very liberal said that violence is justified to achieve your political goals. And 24% approved of celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And that poll came out after he was killed. Again, after he was killed, between last Wednesday and tonight. Think about that. According to another poll of 2,300 US adults, this is a good poll, and this is shocking. Another 21% said they think that Tyler Robinson, the alleged assassin, is a Republican. And less than that number think he's a Democrat, meaning there are more people out there right now who think that a Republican assassinated a Republican than think that a Democrat with a trans furry boyfriend killed Charlie Kirk. What is a problem?
Yo, I'm gonna repeat what old boy just said. A trans furry boyfriend. What is black dudes doing jumping in the middle of a trans furry boyfriend conversation? You understand what I'm saying to you? Y'all look crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did that even sound? You in the middle of a conversation between the federal government and somebody that's got a trans furry boyfriend as a black man. Fall back. You feel me? Like, am I making sense to you?
But it is. At this point, trans violence is beyond a problem. But instead of covering it, the media would rather report on fake problems in the Trump administration because that's what really matters tonight, right? The difference is this time, Donald Trump is not taking the bait.
Take a look at what he did with respect to this horrible person that he just captured. He did it in 2 days. It took other similar cases 4 days, 5 days, 4 years, if you look at certain shooters. Now, I have confidence in everybody in the administration.
It's kind of pathetic, really, how marginalized these people have become in the legacy media. But they are asking questions like that for a reason. And we're going to explain that to you tonight in detail. But first, and this is important, the media would rather ask the president about his FBI director rather than asking about the assassin and his transgender love mate. And like we said last night, we're just not interested in playing you sound bites from the left, from CNN, from MS Now, to prove to you once again how lost these people really are. You know what they're saying, and you know it without even seeing it, and we feel like we know you. And you also know that the legacy media played a big role in what happened last week, and they have cashed in on fear and catered to the most extreme on the left for years, and now they are covering this story by covering it up completely, and they're doing that on purpose. In April, Rutgers University asked 1,200 people a very simple question: is murdering Donald Trump justified? The results were also simple. People on the right overwhelmingly said no, but 56% of people on the left said yes. And 50% of people on the left said the same thing when it came to murdering Elon Musk. Think about
Yo, shout out to Art of Will with the $5 super chat. He says supporting the stream. Yo, appreciate you, bro. Hell, let's play some clips. What we got? WHR, would y'all let me fly the plane to Iran? I thought B2 was my apartment number. Oh my God, did I just start the war?
We're out of time. What do you fancy? Awkward pause, mouth organ. You could play the trombone. You could.
I'd like to play a musical instrument.
Well, how about the mouth organ?
Okay, sounds
It's pretty simple. Just open the box and blow. Yep, that's great. Best I ever heard.
We got more pricing games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricing games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do.
Hold on. Oh, and Quiet Storm with the $5 super chat. He says second laptop for the win. Hell yeah. Star Trek drop. You got it, Playboy. Where we at? Bang.
Riker, my good fortune is your good fortune. I don't need your fantasy women. Oh, you're so stolid. You weren't like that before the beard. Very well.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
I used to say silly things like, where are all the good men at? Until I started taking accountability. Now I know I'm just an ain't shit ass bitch.
Maybe I am the problem.
Maybe I am the problem.
Maybe I am the problem.
Yo, Saul dropping some links in the chat. Y'all check them out. And whatchamacallit, I'm gonna cover a couple of these and we're gonna do from the editor's desk tomorrow, and I'm gonna repost them on the community tab. So one's from Fox News. Researchers warn against rising assassination culture after murders. Once again, Mesaw and Tito was right from the gate, right when it first when this first dropped, when it first happened, and we did that emergency news desk with Tito and stuff. One of the two things that we pointed out, that this is about the normalization of assassination culture and an attack on the First Amendment. This is not a killing. This is an assassination. And I've been noticing with a lot of people making commentary, like y'all don't notice the nuance between the two. This isn't just some guy who got killed. This is an assassination. It's completely different. Like I said yesterday, you don't want to end up like, we don't want to end up like one of these countries where assassination culture is the business of the day. You know what I'm saying? Where you start getting knocked off for running for city council and shit like that. And the alderman, like where it's normal. You know, in some countries, political opponents end up in the back of people's trunks if they can't beat them at the ballot box. That shit's normal in most places in the world. And this is another one for network contagion.us, also about, bro, we called it, about the rise of assassination culture. So yeah, we were spot on with it. Theo Waff in the building. What it do? What it do? What it do? Let's make some. Yo, what up, Theo? Yo, good class yesterday, bro. Good class yesterday. I finally was able to get in. The security measures on class 7 is official, bro. Yo, here's a quick laugh for you, Theo. Here's Keisha getting drafted and sent to boot camp.
Keisha, I'll call you back. What the fuck you want?
Hi, ma'am. You've been drafted.
Yeah, fucking right, bitch. I ain't ever opening the damn door for no white person ever again. Fuck that dude, Brad or Billy or dipshit, whatever the fuck. Can't believe they got my pretty ass out here going to boot camp. They done got me all the way fucked up.
Michael Hunt, Chase A. Deek, or Attic. Sorry, Shanika Manning?
It's Shaniqua, bitch. I know damn well that you know who the fuck I am.
Excuse me, you need to calm the fuck down, Sharkeisha. This isn't your hood-ass ratchet nail salon. You ain't with your fucking Cheeto finger-licking bitches here, okay?
All right, bet. He said, yes, Strags are the problem. Yeah, Arda, well, yeah, like with Venezuela, yeah, you guys got it like Venezuela. They say, yeah, I still don't think Maduro won the election in Venezuela. Yo, exactly. We don't want that. So let's play a little bit more of this. I'm going to skip the Soros section, and we're going to jump straight to the by the numbers segment, because this is a fresh data set, and it's about the sentiment in the country right now regarding these recent events. So we're going to separate all the chatter on the internet, and we're going to see what the numbers say
about that. The fact that we even have to ask a question like that says something, and it's not good. They didn't ask Americans if they thought killing JFK was justified after it happened. They didn't have to. Times were different. So what does it tell you now when almost 60% of people on the left think that assassinating Donald Trump just isn't a big deal, that it would be somewhat justified? That was in April, 10 months after Butler, Pennsylvania. The left are in the middle of something right now that goes way beyond politics, but the media would rather ask Donald Trump about Kash Patel instead of asking about the real story that's staring all of us in the face, and the vice president has finally had enough.
I believe we must, but unity, real unity, can be found only after climbing the mountain of truth. One truth is that 24% of self-described, quote, very liberals believe it is acceptable to be happy about the death of a political opponent. Most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
That's J.D. Vance hosting Charlie Kirk's radio show. According to a YouGov poll that was taken after Charlie was assassinated, 18% of people who call themselves very liberal said that violence is justified to achieve your political goals, and 24% approved of celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And that poll came out after he was killed. Again, after he was killed, between last Wednesday and tonight. Think about that. According to another poll of 2,300 U.S. adults, this is a good poll, and this is shocking. Another 21% said they think that Tyler Robinson, the alleged assassin, is a Republican. And less than that number think he's a Democrat, meaning there are more people out there right now who think that a Republican assassinated a Republican than think that a Democrat with a trans furry boyfriend killed Charlie Kirk.
I'm going to say that again. You heard that? A trans furry boyfriend. This don't got nothing to do with black men. Once again, a trans furry boyfriend. Why are you even in this conversation, homie?
Let that sink in. It doesn't even make sense. But people believe what they see when they're scrolling through their phones and when they watch CNN. And that's a tragedy. Maybe you've seen this photo of Tyler Robinson in his dorm room wearing a red Trump t-shirt. Pretty convincing, right? Turns out that photo is a fake and millions of people saw it. But the left are doing that on purpose because they want you confused. They want people to think that a Trump supporter.
Yo, Theo, you making a joke, but that's actually not bullshit. But it'll probably be a Keisha that do that. He said we need to be far away from libs. They might try to off me for teaching Cloud the black man. That's a joke, but there's some truth in that. But it might be. I guarantee you, it'll be a Keisha or a simp that been all riled up. All these black men learn the Cloud, getting passports, leave the country. It's a good thing you moving to Sao Paulo.
Reporter killed Charlie Kirk. That's a story they want to tell. That's a story they can sell, and it's working. No unity, no coming together. Charlie Kirk deserved what he got, which is exactly the way the left wants it.
There is no unity with people who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. I'm desperate.
Yo, you hear what Vance is saying? They telling you to your face. There is no unity. This is a low-key declaration of war. They not playing, bro. There's a reason that the vice president, he's sitting in Charlie's chair. There's a reason he showed up on the next episode of the Turning Point podcast and he's sitting in Charlie's chair. He's saying, you took out Charlie, I'm here now. Take a shot at me. Bro, they not playing.
For our country to be united in condemnation of the actions and the ideas that killed my friend. We can only have it with people who acknowledge that political violence is unacceptable, and when we work to dismantle the institutions that promote violence and terrorism in our own country.
The left are also trying to pretend, and that's what it is. It's a fantasy. But they're trying to pretend that what happened to Charlie Kirk has nothing to do with the left, that this happens all the time on both sides, which is not true. And a reporter tried to make that point when she asked the president in the Oval Office why the flags at the White House weren't lowered to half-staff this summer when the Speaker of the House in Minnesota, a Democrat, was killed in June. The assumption being that a Republican killed her. Take a look.
Charlie Kirk, in retrospect, given all of the moving ways that this White House has paid tribute to Charlie Kirk,
right,
do you think it would have been fitting to lower the flags to half-staff when Melissa Hortman, the Minnesota House Speaker, was gunned down by an assassin as well?
So the problem with that, Melissa Hortman was a Democrat, and while her death was tragic, she was actually killed by another Democrat. Not only that, a Democrat who worked directly for Tim Walz was appointed by Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota.
Facts. We ain't heard nothing about this. This boy shot and killed like 3 people. He killed what, 1 and shot 3 Democrats for them voting against the funding the immigrants bill. And he worked for Tim Walz. He had a kill list of like 20 people on that joint. Whatever happened to that investigation? Salty Balls with another $5 super chat. He says, somebody cue up the Imperial March. It's about to go down. Bro, that's a whole fact. They is not playing, bro. Let's do some drops.
Would y'all let me fly the plane to Iran? I thought B2 was my apartment number. Oh my God, did I just start the war?
So Keisha, what's a high value man to you?
A man that gave me 10 kids, 3 evictions, $10 on Cash App, and still pull up in a Nissan Altima that sound like it got asthma.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. Man, fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Man, fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. Man, fuck all you.
Kamala's running mate, meaning that in this case, a Democrat literally assassinated another Democrat because that's the left. That's what they do as a party, and it's not being covered by the rest of the media. It's being covered up. But I guarantee you, if in June a Republican happened to assassinate a Democrat, it would have been the biggest story in America. And that's the way the media wants it. They want the public to think that a Republican killed Charlie Kirk because that's a better story for them. Because if people are distracted by that, they will not focus on the truth that Tyler Robinson, the shooter, was a radical leftist with a trans boyfriend.
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate.
Once again, more pro-gay and a trans rights activist. Did you hear anything about pro-black? This don't got nothing to do with FBAs, in particular, heterosexual, productive FBA black men. Once again, I'm going to tell y'all, stand down. And for everybody who want to jump into it, you guys have at it. As far as I'm concerned, you collateral damage. Vance already said they labeling them as a terrorist organization. So y'all can have at it.
A biological male who was transitioning genders.
So that was the Attorney General in the state of Utah right there, clearing up any confusion that might have remained. But instead of reporting the facts of this case today, the left continues to play this little game that they've been playing for so long, where we avoid talking about what's become a crisis in this country, radical trans violence, totally unique to the United States of America, and it's been built.
You hear what he said? Yo, the phraseology is important. He keeps repeating it. He said it is a crisis in this country. Radical trans violence, not black crime. They gonna send the National Guard out to Memphis and a couple other places, and they gonna tie that up real quick. The number one problem as far as the Trump administration is concerned is radical trans violence. Once again, do you hear anything about? I've been playing all of this news tonight. You hear anything about black men and black people in this? Y'all look crazy jumping off the cliff for this shit. This ain't even trans. This is trans and furries. Now being labeled as terrorist organizations, bro. Y'all don't want no parts of this. I'm telling you, bro.
Building for years. The Denver shooter was trans. The Aberdeen, Maryland shooter was trans. The Nashville shooter was trans. The Philadelphia shooter was trans. The Minneapolis church shooter from just a few weeks ago was also trans. And the alleged Charlie Kirk assassin had a trans boyfriend named Lance Triggs, who is not only trans, he also identifies as something called a furry.
Bro, Not only trans, he also identifies as something called a furry. Black man, what is y'all even doing involved in this conversation? Y'all supporting furries now? That's what y'all hotep's doing? Yo, y'all look goofy, cuz. That's what y'all doing? Y'all out here with F. Charlie Kirk and all of this because he said something racist. I stand with furries, dookie love. That's what y'all on? Yo, y'all look crazy out here, bro. Yo, me, Saul, and Tito called that from the beginning. Y'all look crazy. I'll be listening to y'all up there yelling and screaming. But he said, yo, I've been listening to streams all day while I'm working and stuff like that. Content creators, y'all look crazy. Y'all sound crazy, bro. Pookie Ray Show. He said pro-gray is now synonymous with pro-black. Hashtag new black love. Hashtag, yeah, the new black love is dookie love now, huh? I'm telling y'all, man. Black man, stand down. Don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. No news. He said, bro, in the Ewok costume, y'all crazy. Bro, Irvin said in police parlance, they call this connecting the dots. We all seen deep cover at least once. That's a double entendre if there ever was one. All right, we at the 1 hour 36-minute mark. Let's do by the numbers. I want to get a significant portion of this in because these are fresh data set, and this is about the issue at hand. We got fresh data set. This is where are we at? This is 1 day old. This data set is 1 day old. This is our guy Mark over at Rasmussen. So let's get busy. Let's nerd out. We went through the news. You got my opinion, me, Saul, and Tito's opinion on this. A shout out to us. We called it right from the jump. We called it right. So let's separate the noise from the signal and let's see what the actual numbers say regarding this current issue. Let's go through the new data set. This is our guy Mark. Let's get busy. I'm gonna play some of his little intro set, and then I'm gonna jump forward straight to when he starts going through the numbers, so we can save time. We at the 1 hour 37 mark. All right, cool. We should be able to get the majority of this done. He's gonna go through how we phrase the questions and everything. Mark's like the best at this. Let's go.
And one that I think will cause some really major changes in America. Now, I said last week on War Room that I thought this Monday would bring a new America. And I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing a lot of action now out of the government, a lot of talk from Steve Miller and Kash Patel and JD Vance about the new things that they're going to do that, quite frankly, they probably should have already done some of. But we're not going to get too deep on the news. I'm pretty sure most of you are following it really closely, and you probably know more about this assassination than I do. Although I have to admit that the communications between Tyler and his lover seem a little fake. They seem a little too stiff or formal or whatever. I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on. But let's start with this. Brick, New Jersey, between 2,000 and 4,000 attendees at a Sunday night vigil for Charlie Kirk. I saw the local No Kings rally and I saw this vigil, and quite frankly, I like our odds. This was an absolutely incredible event, and apparently these are all over the states to the tune of hundreds and thousands. And it's not just last weekend, it's this weekend coming up. Tyler Boyer's talking about an event in Arizona where tens of thousands of people are going to turn out. And they're going to have registration papers. Scott Pressler's going to show up. This is a horrible event, a tragedy, but there is a silver lining to this cloud. And that is the Republican Party has been given a gift here. They need to give these previously unaffiliated voters something to vote for. I call on Michael Johnson and John Thune, show up together in public, give an address, talk about how the Republican Party will no longer stand for violent rhetoric and the steps that it's going to go through to reform our agencies, focus them on actual terrorist and violent threats to Americans, and keep America safe. But let's check in on the crazies quick before we get to the polling. Our politics is all over the place. And listen, if you've never been to Reddit, first, keep your kids off Reddit. If you let them on as a teenager, they are going to be trans or have an OnlyFans on the day they turn 18.
Whoa. You heard that? He said, keep your kids off of Reddit. If they're on Reddit as a teen, he said they're going to either be trans or on OnlyFans by the time they turn 18. Let that sink in.
It's an absolute disgusting place. I absolutely bashed on it today on InfoWars. People don't understand how pervasive this site is and how, in my opinion, it's one of the key pieces of the radicalization pipeline. But I go here a lot because it tells you what is going on in the heads of the absolute loony radical left. You really can't get it from Blue Sky. Too many nature pictures and furries over there. But look at what's going on. Look at their hot posts. Department of Justice deletes study showing domestic terrorists are most often right-wing. They're still trying to push the lie that this guy in Utah was a right-winger. It's so ubiquitous and pushed so far and wide that people will be wrestling with this lie for years and years. Kash Patel says, no credible info that Epstein trafficked young women to others. Oh, okay. Back on to Epstein. Maybe we should go after you. Trump threatens ABC reporter asking about free speech. CNN commentator fears Trump could outlaw the Democrat Party. Absolutely a concern. They're really going hard with this fascist angle. I think one of the problems and the reason that this will escalate things in America is that for a very long time, the right has been, let's just say, bottling things up. And I don't think that this has uncorked hate. I think it's uncorked righteous fury, but it's almost as if people have been given a permission slip to, let's just say, put tolerance on the back burner.
Bingo. Bingo. He said it. He said it. I'm going to jump to the numbers right now, though. But he hear what he just said? He said, this is giving them a permission slip to put tolerance on the back burner. Cheeto said, the moderate right died with Charlie Kirk. And I've been, and he said, and I said, all that race card, all that being shamed for you, the days of you being able to be like, oh, that's racist, are over. They don't care. Theo said if your daughter's on Reddit, she will want to become a furry Chewbacca within 1 year. Yo, this furry thing is crazy. Yeah, when has the left been tolerant? So let's go. Let's jump to the numbers. Let me slide forward. All right, boom. There's a chart right there. All right, let's go.
And he was also part of an actual group affiliated with the World Economic Forum who is out there arming queers in Utah. That's the one that deleted their social media footprint like an hour after the assassination. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Like I said, it seems like the right has gotten new resolve, and the left is still committed to the same kind of lies that have increasingly a weaker and weaker grasp. But before we get to the crosstabs of the new polling, let's just take a look at this. Now, this is updated as of September 11th, and we don't yet have the next data point, which will drop on the 18th of September. But you can already see that as of the last couple of weeks, there's a little bit of a widening trend in right direction. Wrong track, right direction is drifting down slightly. It was at the mid 40s, 45% just last week, just a couple of polling days ago. And wrong track is ticking up. But the movement we've seen in the daily numbers, which again has not yet been captured on this chart, is that in a 3-day polling period, right direction has plunged from 45% to 40%, and 40% is the lowest number that we've seen in Donald Trump's second term. See this period here? This was the inauguration. It's been above 40 that entire time. We've seen nothing like it. Nothing like it at all. Now, this isn't all of our polling history, but it's the last 5 years. And there was a period back in early 2020 before COVID hit, where people were pretty happy, but nothing like Trump 2.0. This has been an entirely new paradigm in polling. Because Trump got elected with the mandate, because the Biden administration was as bad as it was, people thought the country was going on the right direction more than at any time in our polling history. And that has changed. I do think that tomorrow or the next day, we might see for the very first time a 40 handle in Trump's second term. Now, his approval rating is flat to up. It was -3 yesterday. It's -2.
Yo, shout out to Saw. I just seen a super chat. $5 super chat. He said radical, trans, terroristic, Taliban, booty bandits. Yo, whole fact though.
Is this the gentleman who ruined the buffet at the Harrow Club this morning?
Yes, sir.
I just bet you are the pride of your department in Detroit.
Is this the man who wrecked the buffet at the Harrow Club this morning?
Lower your voice, for Christ's sake.
Look, and the guy...
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. Fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. Fuck all you hoes.
Today. So this isn't a signal about Donald Trump and the way he's handling this. This is predominantly Republicans and independents who are looking around just in the last few days and saying something is seriously wrong. It's worse than I thought. This country is actually on the wrong track. I thought things were okay, but things are actually really messed up. Will there be a bounce? Will it come back? I don't know.
And he's saying these new numbers about the country being on the wrong track, that's in reaction to the Charlie Kirk incident.
It could be a permanent change. Again, I think that this has deeply affected Americans. We've talked previously about the polling, how, listen, it's a really deeply held belief, whether you support capital punishment or not. And usually we get a number where roughly half support it and about 35% don't. The last time it was 49 to 36. That was 5 years ago. That's net plus 13. But in our Arena Zarutska polling, they wanted DeCarlos Brown executed by 60% to 20%. That's net plus 40, or almost a 30-point shift. And I think most of that shift probably happened recently. People are fed up. They don't like what's happening. They wanted Trump to fix it, but they're looking around, and I think increasingly they're seeing that these problems aren't going to solve themselves. Now, normally when we look at crosstabs, we spend a lot of time comparing the differences in the demographics. And what you're going to see here is there's not actually a lot of difference at all in the demographics. There's almost bipartisan unity on this particular issue set. And this was put into the field the day after the Charlie Kirk assassination. And it polled again Sunday and Monday night. And here we are with the results. How concerned are you about political violence in America? And out of the mouths of 1,100 U.S. likely voters, 69% are very concerned. Another 21% somewhat. Do the math, we are talking 90% of America. If you've been following me, you know we really don't see 90 numbers. It's actually super rare to see something in the 80s. This is a really high level of concern. I don't even think like border security and rising prices had a 69% very concerned. This is a major problem. People are super concerned about violence. Only 1% not at all concerned. Another 7% not very concerned. So we're talking like more than 10 to 1. Absolutely insane. This is like literally everybody. And women are way more concerned. 92%, 75% very. Like look at across the age bracket, it's all pretty concerned. Older voters more, 83% very concerned, another 15% somewhat, 98%. 98%. Again, that just like doesn't happen. White, black, Hispanic, it really doesn't matter. Democrat and Republican, they are both in the 90s, except 74% of Democrats are very concerned and only 66% of Republicans. That's right. Even though a left-wing coup shot Charlie Kirk, Democrats are more very concerned about political violence in America than Republicans. Independents are right there along with the Republicans. Liberals and conservatives, pretty similar. Moderates a little bit less than everybody else. I mean, it's literally completely across the board. Although Trump's strong approvers and Trump's strong disapprovers are most concerned. That's interesting. Most very concerned. This is definitely political tension. Absolutely. But recently, a gunman in Utah shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk. How likely is it that there will be more political violence in the next few months? 48% very likely. Another 37% somewhat likely. Combined total of 85%. Again, only 7% not likely, although there's more not sures. Obviously, it's up to predict the future. Again, slightly more women. Again, hardly any age signal, race signal, and party signal. It's all the same. 87% of Democrats, 87% of Republicans. Everybody thinks there's going to be more killing. And everybody is very concerned. And as we know from November 2024, both sides thought the other side, by a majority, was going to commit violence after the election. This is all deeply held tension. This is not good stuff. Remember, 43% of America thinks a civil war is likely in the next few years. And then don't even get me started on the amount of sick people who think that burning Tesla dealerships is an appropriate form of protesting. And the number of people, 46% of liberals, for instance, who thought the murder of the United Healthcare CEO by Luigi Mangione was understandable. Which is more to blame for incidents like the recent shooting in Utah? 46% say heated political rhetoric. That is the plurality response. Only 28% say availability of firearms. Hey, Liz Warren and Chris Murphy, you're not getting the guns. Mental illness, 19%. And mental illness and access to firearms together is basically the same as heated political rhetoric. But look at the party signals here. 50% of Republicans, a majority, 41% of Democrats, a plurality, think it's heated political rhetoric. Independents, too. I mean, this is pretty much agreement. Like, only 39% of Democrats think it's because this guy was able to get his hands on a gun. Now, maybe it's because they actually know it's a bolt action, or maybe they all instinctively know that something deeper is happening here. Does access to firearms get a majority? And I understand that responses number 2 and 3 might have split the vote here, but does it get to a majority among anyone? Not even Trump's strong disapprovers. Not even Kamala Harris voters. It is heated political rhetoric. Absolutely. But do you agree or disagree with this statement? This is a Donald Trump quote from his appearance on Fox News the morning after the assassination on September 11th. It's long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. Now, we didn't say it was a Trump quote, but massive majority of, it's like pretty much everybody agrees with this, 86%, 58% strongly. Now, it usually takes a concerned or not concerned question to get into the 90s. Agree or disagree questions just do not get there. And this one gets pretty close, 86%. I mean, only 8% disagreeing. So we're talking about, again, more than a 10-1. That's absolutely crazy. No gender signal, a little bit of an age signal. 18 to 29-year-olds are a little less likely to agree. It's only 81% of them. Not really a race signal, not a party signal at all. 53% of Democrats strongly agree with Donald Trump that it is about demonizing those with whom you disagree with, and that the media in America has to confront this fact. That's what's causing violence and murder. The demonization of opponents in the media. 61% of Republicans strongly agree. Another 28% somewhat, so 89%. 82% of independents agree. Every freaking person agrees. Even Kamala Harris voters, 86% of them. No matter how much you hate the media, it's not enough. So now tensions are rising. Everybody's afraid. they think there's going to be more political violence. But there is a reassuring way to read this. It's tough to look at these numbers. And again, obviously, a lot of people on the left are afraid that Republicans are going to shoot them because of this vilification. But it's really hard to look at these numbers and say to yourself, especially after that last question, well, all of those people on TikTok and on Facebook celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, delighting over the fact that there are now small children who will grow up fatherless, that those people are the majority of the Democrat Party. They are not. And the situation we're in is tricky. Republicans are very unified right now. They mostly believe the same things, want the same things, and yet where they're at is that their governance is split. The Republican Party is not interested in aggressively changing America like the MAGA movement has promised. And that's a problem. There will be a reckoning. On the Democrat side, their governance structure is completely in lockstep. They are going to keep resisting Trump. They're going to keep on with the rhetoric. They're going to keep increasing the temperature. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because that's what their backers want, or if they are literally ideological Marxist accelerationists, if they are seriously gunning for a civil war. And I guess we're going to see, because it looks like Trump is going to continue to roll out National Guard troops into blue cities. And that presents a problem for them. But on the left, their governance is completely lockstep, but their voters are fragmented. They don't all want Trump assassinated. They aren't all gleeful about this. They don't all want Tesla dealerships to burn down. And yet, time and time again, the places that they get their information, the algorithms that drive their news consumption, the communities, the moderators of the communities where they go for news and to exchange discourse, all of those places want blood. Thankfully, finally, it looks like we're going to see some action. I hope we see more action. I would love to see places like Reddit absolutely squirm under the microscope of the federal government. This isn't about free speech. This is about unlawful speech, radicalization, and essentially the creation of what appear to be distributed domestic terrorist cells. I mean, how would we know they're not without investigating them? We have the capability. If we can investigate every militia in the U.S. and every grandma that ever set foot on the Capitol building, I think this one is well within our capability set.
Bang, there you go. That's by the numbers. That's not opinions. Those are new numbers. That's a fresh data set taken right after the Charlie Kirk incident. Yeah, the environment has changed, guys. Keep your head on a swivel. Theo Waff with $5 super chat. He said the left can't shoot, can't even run 100 yards, can't cook without DoorDash. No civil war. You may have a fact. You may have a point there, sir. You may have a point there.
So, Keisha, what's a high value man to you?
A man that gave me 10 kids, 3 evictions, $10 on Cash App, and still pull up in a Nissan Altima that sound like it got asthma.
So, Keisha, what's...
Shit. Got your ass.
All right, guys, that's my time for tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. I think this is actually one of our best ones this week. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll line up some more stuff from the news feed. Like always, like I said, guys, stand down, stay out of this one. And in the meantime, good night and good luck.
Sorry.
Hey, where's Stewie?
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter.
There it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it, and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Stewie Griffin. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.